Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again, and it is game day, Monday. I hate Monday games. Because you go the whole weekend and you got to see other teams play, but you don't get that gratification of seeing your own team play. Now, we've had a long time off because we had the bye week before that. So this is the second straight Sunday. Well, yesterday was the second straight Sunday that we didn't get a chance to see our Cowboys play. But there's game time tonight. The Redskins lost yesterday, so I'm a little happy about that. Hey, yo, this NFC East is still up for grabs, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I had a feeling that they were going to lose to the Falcons because, believe it or not, we know the Falcons are an up-and-down team, but they are still a good team, and they have a lot of talent on them. And we still have to face them, too, again. So, a little nervous about that. We got the Eagles next week, but not to worry about that right now. We worry about the Titans tonight. I'm going to do a matchup video when I get home today. So you guys look forward to that. Talk more about what's going on. But just to recap with the bye week and everything that's been going on just real quickly. Interesting fact that Law Nation brought to the attention in our group chat. Shout out to Law Nation, the homie Law Nation. He was basically we've been talking about this offensive line and how it affects Dak and how Dak has not been as good since 2016, and there's a lot of different factors in it. Now, I believe that it's an even distribution of fault going on. There's play calling issues. Dak has his issues with, some of his mechanics that he's still working on, because granted, it's his third year, but he's still a young quarterback that started day one that didn't get a chance to sit behind anybody to learn the NFL way. You know what I mean? So he had to learn on the fly. So he's still learning. So it's going to take him a little while with that, which I expect. Especially somebody that wasn't a first-round draft pick. He was a fourth-round pick for a reason. And he wasn't meant to be thrown out to the fire like that, but that's what we had to deal with. So he is our quarterback. So we have to, try to, encourage Dak, and the team needs to be helping him be a better quarterback. Now, again, I've been saying this all the time. You have to play to your quarterback's strength. He is not a stand-in-the-pocket quarterback. He is a mobile quarterback that can also throw the ball on the run. So you have to use him for that. That's how the Chiefs use with Patrick Mahomes, the Texans with Deshaun Watson. I mean, you can be successful being that type of quarterback. You just have to run the game plan the way that is made for that Dak. I don't know how many times I had to keep saying it. I feel like this offense is still predicated towards Tony Romo and what he did when he was here. You look at what we have right now, and you're like, okay, we have a new quarterback. Dak is very different than what Tony Romo was. Tony Romo had a command of that offense because he knew it inside and out. Dak doesn't yet. So I think that Linehan, if he wants to keep his job, he needs to do a better job at making things the way that benefits for Dak, not how it was before. See, this coaching staff, I feel like they're just so enamored on keeping things conservative and keeping things just the way they are. We know that the identity of the Cowboys is running the ball, but also it's a threat of run, not just with Zeke, but with all the other talent we have on offense. Dak running the ball. Tavon Austin when he's healthy. Now that we got Amari Cooper, you can incorporate that and throw some passes downfield. You got to mix it up because you can't do the same thing over and over again because teams are going to see that and they're going to stop it every damn time. So, again, I could talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but that's the narrative right now. I think that Dak will be better once we make things better for him. Use more of the RPO. A lot more of the misdirection, the shotgun, the things that he's good at doing. We already know that Dak is better on the run. Let him do what he has to do. He's a young quarterback. He's not an old grizzled veteran that if you move or if he gets hit, he's going to be too fragile. But, I think that Dak does a good job of sliding and getting down when he needs to. He's going to take a couple of hits here and there. That's just the way it is. But also another factor is the offensive line. And as I talk about the offensive line, Jerry Jones has invested a lot of stock into this offensive line over the last 5-6 years. So you look at what we have right now. We have the talent. Now, I understand that there was injuries and the things that happened with Travis Frederick, and but again, there's ways to counteract that. I like I said before, I think that Paul Alexander should have never been hired here. They should have gave the job to Mark Colombo in the first beginning. Now, I finally seen how fiery he is. He's almost like he's fiery like how Chris Richard is. He wants these guys to learn, and they listen to him because he's a former player, because the scheme that he was raised in, I say raised, but you know what I mean, the scheme that he played in when Hudson Houck was his offensive line coach. He's establishing that with these guys, and these guys know the scheme. Outside of Connor Williams, all these guys on this offensive line know what that scheme is, and I know they're excited to do it. They're not going to say that they're happy that Paul Alexander is gone, and that's good that they're not saying that, because you're not politically supposed to say stuff like that. But we already know what the narrative is with that. We know what they wanted. Now, the stat that Law Nation brought up, and I think he posted on his Twitter too as well, so you guys can see it there visually. But you look at this year with the pressures allowed. Tyron Smith, so far, Tyron Smith at the left tackle position, 12. Connor Williams at the left guard position, 15. Joe Looney, 8 at the center spot. Zach Martin, 6. And, Lyle Collins at the right tackle position, 20 pressures. So you look at those numbers, and again, a lot of it is hearsay, because this line does a lot of pulling and things of that nature, so they move around a lot because they're an athletic line. But you look at those numbers, and you look at the lowest one that we have there, Zach Martin. Zach Martin is a warrior. He's going to thrive regardless. But again, offensive line has to work as one cohesive unit. One person could be doing the whole thing, but if you got guys breaking free on the left side or on the right side, but you're in the middle, yeah, you may got the middle stabilized, but that pocket is collapsing on the outside, and the quarterback has nowhere to run. And that's where Dak gets in trouble, because he's trying to run for his life while trying to find these open receivers when some of the receivers weren't getting open fast enough. Now, they're getting open, but not fast enough. Now, hopefully with Amari Cooper being here, since he's a very quick twitch guy, he can be able to catch the ball and catch it on the run. Now, a lot of those drops that Amari Cooper had was mainly because he was thinking too fast. He was thinking about what he was doing before he caught the ball. You got to catch the ball and then make the move. But again, like I was saying, so with this offensive line, you look at, that's how the numbers were with Alexander. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, we need to kick Lyle Collins back in at the left guard position and put Connor Williams on the bench and put Fleming at the right tackle. Look, that sounds good in essence. But again, with an offensive line, you don't want to keep changing what's going on, because our offensive line is not like a receiver core or a running back where you could just plug them in and plug them out and then the offense still runs the same. These guys have to have chemistry with each other, because the guy next to you has to know your habits and the things that you're going to do, and you guys have to be able to give each other line calls just by looking at each other sometimes, so the defense don't know what y'all doing. And that's important. A lot of people don't understand, like, it's a lot of intricate things when it comes to the offensive line. It's not easy. So, you just look at it because it's not a skill position. People downplay the offensive line, but that's hard work up in there, trying to block those big guys, coming off the edge. Now, you look at Lyle Collins. Now, I think that when he first got the right tackle spot, he didn't do this bad. So I know that it has to do with Paul Alexander coming in there, because when Paul Alexander came in here, basically what Paul Alexander did was he came in here, he was like, look, this is my philosophy. I'm going to bring it like this. I've been a coach for 20-some-odd years in this league, so you do what I say. And poor Connor Williams, he's just a young rookie, and a lot of that affects him because of the simple fact that, like, he's coming in here dry. He's just learning whatever he can to try to make sure that, he's doing what he needs to do to succeed. You can't have a young guy succeed if things are falling apart. So I think that with Colombo being a coach now, Hudson Hawk being an advisory individual for them, I think that it's going to help Connor. I think that this game might be a little shaky for him because he's now having to relearn something. But again, this is where Tyron and Zach Martin and Lyle and even Travis Frederick, when he was playing, helps because they know this. And I think that Tyron Smith is able to help young Connor better with the older scheme because that's his bread and butter. He knows that. But when Paul Alexander was here, just food for thought, just so you guys can think about this. A lot of guys are still learning, and some guys are like, forget it, I'm not doing that, I'm doing me. So that's where a lot of the mistakes on that offensive line came from, on top of the injuries that we had. Now, Joe Looney has been doing a damn thing. He's been holding his own. I just hope that we could be able to re-sign Joe Looney as a backup, because now that the league has seen him this whole season as a starter, and they're seeing that he's not failing, somebody's going to try to get him in free agency. They're going to look at Joe Looney and be like, look, we have a sorry offensive line, and we need another center, so we can put him on our roster. Now, that's up to Joe Looney. I know Joe Looney loves the Cowboys, and I know that he loves to be there. But it's up to the Cowboys whether they re-sign him or they let him walk. I think that it's wise that they keep him because, again, we don't know if Travis Frederick ever is going to put on a uniform again. So because of that reason, you want to cover your butt. And that's important. And I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention. So, again, it's game day, y'all. We got to get ready for tonight. Like I said, I'm going to do my matchup video, so you guys will see that later on before the game. And that's all I got for you right now. Thanks again to all my subscribers. Like, share, comment. It's your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. Talk to y'all later.